Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel of Conscious History, where we will unveil the hidden truths of the past. A smart child once wanted to read all the books he could get his hands on. His favorite books were those of his war hero, Alexander the Great, who had once stated, "It is not wealth or power that defines a man, but his character and the impact he leaves on the world." That child had no idea yet that this quote would be a visual representation of himself. He would grow into a man that would conquer the world, combined with a never-ending desire for knowledge. This man would eventually become the ruler of one of the most powerful empires of all time, and his army would be famous for being ahead of its time when it came to military power. This man must have felt like he conquered the world. And when he did, he only desired peace. In this video, we are going to talk about Suleiman the Magnificent, otherwise known as the Lawgiver. We will explore how his rise to power and way of thinking eventually led to world domination. We will delve into the Ottoman Empire, from its elite Janissary warriors feared on the battlefield to its Silk Road trade, which made the Ottomans so rich that they lived in a period named the Golden Age. Despite the sometimes negative stigma around the word Sultan, we will showcase that the longest reigning Sultan, who held power for 46 years, completely removes the negativity. If you like our content, like and subscribe to our channel, and let's look through the eyes of Suleiman. In one eye he saw a moon, in the other one a star. These symbols visualized a path to greatness. Let's travel through Ottoman history and explore the Sultan who became magnificent. Suleiman was born in 1494. His father was Selim I, who would go down in the history books as a genius military commander. After Selim expanded the Ottoman Empire through skill and conquest, he became Sultan in 1512. When Suleiman was 7 years old, he was sent to the imperial Topkapi Palace in Constantinople to study. Here, young Suleiman became a scholar and received military training. During his early studies, his teachers noticed a remarkable talent. They observed a young man eager to learn and understand everything the world had to offer. Throughout his school years, Suleiman learned theology, literature, science, history, and his favorite subject, warfare, while he became a skilled horseman and hunter. He also became a polyglot at an early age. He spoke 6 languages: Ottoman Turkish, Arabic, Serbian, Chagatai Turkish, Farsi, and Urdu. As a young adult, his love for learning and military conquest only expanded. He was fascinated by Alexander the Great, and his military training mentally prepared him for leadership. Suleiman learned through the art of experience and the lessons of his father, who through military tactics defeated the Mamluks, the power of Venice, and the Persian Empire, while also creating a strong navy. These experiences showcased to him the strength of his people and their elite forces, the Janissary warriors. The Janissary warriors were elite special forces units that formed the Sultan's household troops, strictly disciplined and given Spartan-like training for one purpose: to live and die for the glory of the Ottoman Empire. They were a close community, viewing their fellow soldiers as brothers and the Sultan as their father. This elite corps, present at the capture of Constantinople, struck fear in the hearts of many when they entered the battlefield. When Father Selim was on a military campaign, Suleiman acted as the authorized representative. For this reason, he became acquainted with the management of the empire at the highest level. During this period, he blossomed into a true leader. Suleiman began writing poetry, a sign of intellectual maturity and cultural refinement. He also had children to secure the Ottoman dynasty and truly transformed into a father figure. The year 1520 was one that changed history. When Sultan Selim was preparing his military campaign against Rhodes, he suddenly passed away. This was the moment for Suleiman, who had fully prepared his entire life to become Sultan. In 1520, he was ready and prepared for greatness. Just like his hero Alexander, he would showcase this in his plans to conquer the world. Sultan Suleiman was a genius when it came to warfare, strategic and thoughtful, which led to the Ottoman army becoming one of the strongest in world history. Under Suleiman's leadership, the Ottoman forces successfully besieged the island of Rhodes. Personally arriving to take charge, he brought with him an army of 100,000 men. He used the Janissary Corps as elite forces, including explosive experts, engineers, technicians, sharpshooters, and sappers who dug tunnels under fortresses. In battles, the Ottoman army also employed the Dardanelles gun, otherwise known as the super cannon. These super cannons inflicted incredible damage and were designed to be so massive and overwhelming that enemies couldn't help but feel belittled by their size. Often, enemies would surrender out of fear before facing them. This showcased the superiority of the Ottoman army. Suleiman promised himself that when he became Sultan, he would be just. When the Ottomans conquered Rhodes, he demonstrated this commitment by not converting any churches into mosques. For this reason, Europeans called him the Grand Turk, as he was an inspiring figure. The Ottomans gave him the title Kanuni, meaning the lawgiver. Suleiman didn't just conquer, he ruled like a true father figure. After Suleiman made a name for himself through conquest and personally traveled long distances from Central Europe to the mountainous terrain of Western Iran, he lived up to the greatness of Alexander. After what must have felt like conquering the world, what did he desire? Suleiman looked inwards and wanted peace. He protected all religions in his empire as long as they treated Islam as the dominant religion. Suleiman loved art and culture. Architects built large bathhouses, hospitals, palaces, schools, and of course the Suleimani Mosque. He loved poetry and white tulips. His cultivation of the white tulip is the reason it spread throughout Europe. While many sultans had harems and many wives, Suleiman only loved one, Roxolana. The name Roxolana was given to her at the court due to her red hair. She started off as his concubine, but within the Ottoman court, Suleiman found his soulmate. She was given the nickname Hürrem, meaning the joyful one, even though tradition demanded that she should leave the harem because she was pregnant. Suleiman could not live without his other half. He gave up the harem and married Roxolana. This was the first time an Ottoman sultan got married. She uplifted his spirit and gave him peace of mind, which caused him to govern to the full extent of his abilities. Together they were inseparable and created large-scale charitable works adding to their legacies. They built mosques in places like Mecca and Jerusalem and were loved for their generosity to the community, from constructing small tea houses to soup kitchens. they loved each other deeply. When Suleiman was on a campaign, they would write love letters to each other. Suleiman was so in love with his wife that he would write poetry about her. Their hearts united, and she eventually bore his child, Selim II, dedicated to his father. His love for art, beauty and refinement is seen in his insignia, the tugra, which he used for official documents, correspondence and coins. It consisted of the name of the reigning Sultan, his father's name, his title, and the phrase, "the eternally victorious," showcasing his power and his legacy on the world. Eventually, Suleiman would become the longest reigning Ottoman Sultan, ruling for 46 years. However, his rule would showcase that it is not just military conquest that matters, it's the impact he leaves on the world. Suleiman had everything in life and was free to do anything. He chose to focus on being content with basic, modest things, loving his wife, helping those in need, and making the world around him more beautiful. That is what made him the Magnificent. Or, as he would say it himself in one of his most famous verses, "The people think of wealth and power as the greatest fate, but in this world, a spell of health is the best state. What men call sovereignty is a worldly strife and constant war. Worship of God is the highest throne, the happiest of all estates." Suleiman was buried in an imperial tomb next to the Suleimani Mosque, near the tomb of his wife Roxolana. The Suleimani Mosque visualizes Suleiman's path to greatness. If you ever have the chance to visit the mosque in person, one word will pop up in your mind: magnificent. Did you know of the brilliant Ottoman Sultan? What are your thoughts on his love for art, the Janissary warriors, or the technological advancements of the Ottoman army, including the super cannons? Leave me your answers below in the comments, and if you enjoy our content, like and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell if you want to see more in-depth history videos. We love making these videos. See you next time at Conscious History.